Hey, how's it going? If you're new here, my name is Jan and I love makeup. And if you're not new, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you. Today's video is episode 24 in the Throwback Thursday series I'm doing using old makeup. Not oogie old, just not talked about old. So I created this look today, and if you want to see what I did, stick around. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm super into blue lately. I painted my nails blue. I chose blue eyeshadow, blue eyeliner. I don't know. Anyway, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, now's a good time to do that. Click on the bell and YouTube will notify you when I put a new video, and you can choose to watch it or not. Totally up to you, no pressure. Either way, I appreciate you hanging out with me. All right, enough yammering, let's just get into it. I'm about to have a very naked face. Brace yourself. All right, here we go, episode 24. So today I decided I wanted to use my Nakia Joy loose pigments. I have a whole bunch of them, so I just chose out 3 that I thought would make a pretty cute eye look. So the first shade I have is Periwinkle. They all come in these little tiny pots. And I'm just going to show you the cap so I don't dump it everywhere. And this is what Periwinkle looks like. Super cute, light purple shade. So I thought that might be fun as a transition color. And then for like the majority of my outer eye and lid, we're gonna use the Chroma Shift pigment called Galaxy. These are so cool. I don't know if I can show you all the shifts on the cap. So there's blue, purple. I'm pretty sure this one goes to red as well. It's really hard to see, but I think on the eye, once the look is done and I can zoom in and, you know, move my head all over so you can check it out, I think you'll be able to see it. And then the third shade I chose is the shade Candy, and this is duochrome, so nothing too far out and funky, but it's obviously pink to purple, or pink to even periwinkle maybe. So I'm excited to play with these. Now, when I put them on my lid, I do use them wet. So I'm going to use the periwinkle shade dry and just kind of buff that in my transition area, and then I'll wet the other 2 shades and use them. When I use them dry, they tend to crease a little bit on me, but when I use them wet, they're like paint. Like it just dries down and doesn't budge. So I really like that. So I'm just gonna tap a little bit of the periwinkle into the cover. So there's not a whole lot in there, but that should be plenty. And I'm going to use a fluffy brush and just kind of use this as my transition shade, like I said. So let's see how we do. The really cool thing about the Chroma Shift shadows is you can use one eyeshadow and it looks like you've used several. And that's pretty fun, but I wanted to do a bit more today. Nobody ever talks about Nakia Joy. Just recently, I've started hearing her name on like larger YouTube channels, like Angelica has started talking about her, you know, trying the powder. I do wish I had some brushes from Nakia. I think in her line, it's the only thing I haven't tried are the makeup brushes. That's really pretty and blended out absolutely beautifully. I should mention, I primed my eyes with my Gerard Cosmetics eye base. I always do that. And I, of course, have the butterscotch tape on the outer portion of my eye. It helps me create a neater eye look. All right, I'm just gonna do this second eye and I will be back and we'll move on to what's next. Okay, I did go back in and added a little bit more just to get a bit more pigmentation, but I like how that is looking for now. Now, how I use the Chroma Shift pigments wet, I have actually learned this kind of the hard way. So I'm gonna use this cover. It's actually the cover to one of my Color Switch containers. So I'm going to squirt some setting spray. I have the ABH Dewy Set. This is what I use to wet most of my shadows. So I sprayed that in the cover, and then I'm going to tip out a little bit of the eyeshadow pigment where I laid that color down, or where I squirted the setting spray. I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a mix, and then I'm going to apply that on my eye. I'm patting it on to start, bringing it up past my actual crease because I have hooded eyes. And because my eyes are hooded, I have to really pay attention to how this lines up. So when I look straight ahead, it doesn't look crazy. But when I go, it doesn't look crazy either. So if you don't have hooded eyes, this part will be much easier for you. Now I'm going to take a little like pencil-y smudgy brush and dip into the cap where the shadow is dry, and I'm going to blend along the edge of where I lay down the wet shadow. I'm up past my actual crease, so this shouldn't crease and get funky on my eye as the day wears on. It would just be where my eye folds. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing to the other eye, and then I'll be right back. All right, looking like a crazy person, but I do honestly think this will come together. So now I've cleaned off my brush that I was using to put that eyeshadow on wet, and I've just wet it again, and I'm dipping into the candy, what was it? Yeah, the candy shade, which is the pink to purpley one. And I'm just gonna start putting this on the inner portion where I left off with the other shade on both eyes. I'm just going to blend it in and tap over where the two shades meet so there's no weird harsh lines. I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'll blend over everything with that first brush we used, just over the edges to make sure it blends smoothly. Okay, clean brush, because I just dropped the other one that I was using, and I'm just gently buffing over the edge of the darker shade and the pink. So I'm gonna blend this out till it looks nice and smooth. Okay, I think I like that. So let's take off the tape. Yeah. I just love this stuff. It seems like it would be messy or difficult and, you know, intimidating, but really using it wet just takes away all the stress. Okay, still looking a little nuts. My face isn't done. Okay, I'm back. Obviously, my face is done. So let's finish up the under eye. I'm gonna go into the Galaxy shade, which is what I have on the outer portion of my lids. I'm going to spray my Rephr number 3 brush with some setting spray because I don't want this to end up all over my face. And I'm dipping into the cap, and I'm gonna run that on the outer portion of my lower lash line. probably about halfway. I'm going to use my Rephr number 23, which is basically the same thing as the 03, but it's tinier, like micro, which is really convenient because I'm going to use this on the inner portion of my lower lash line, and I don't want it to take over. So an itty bitty wet brush is a really good way to get that on there. All right, that's done. I'm going to throw on some Smashbox Superfan Mascara on my lower lash line, and then I'm going to fix my hair, zoom you out, and we'll come back and I'll tell you what's on the rest of my face and what I think of all of these little eyeshadow pigments. Okay, BRB. Okay, before I get into what's on the rest of my face, let me zoom you in so you can see the eye look up close personal. Okay, I think I like it. I do want to mention the set of lashes that I have from NJC are the volume set, and I used the third pair down for today's look. I am pretty stingy with these. I don't use them often. They're not super cheap, and I just recently feel like I'm getting good enough to putting lashes on to use the really nice ones. So this is kind of exciting to be able to use them per my own rules. And then I of course use the matte base primer. All three of the pigments, I love all of them. I have, like I said, a bunch, and I really like them all. And then my highlighter is this shade right here called Glow, and on the inner corner I have Gleam, and then I have Glow on the rest of the parts of my face where I would normally put highlight. My contour is of course the Kevyn Aucoin. My bronzer is the Ofra by Samantha March bronzer duo in the shade River. This isn't, it's a very light wash of color on me because I am pretty darn tan. It's more of a early summer, late fall, winter shade. And my blush is the Nabla Skin Glazing in Adults Only. This is the blush I think makes me look like I've got a fresh sunburn without, you know, actually causing skin damage. And my eyeliner, I couldn't help it. I had to grab this blue one from the new Haus Labs release. I'm a sucker for a blue eyeliner, and they are not all created equal. I think I like this. I wasn't sure at first because it seemed like it didn't want to go on very well. But after going back and forth a few times, it built up nicely. It was very smooth, so I'm not mad about that. In my lip is a new one that I've been playing with. I got a couple new things from Sephora, obviously the eyeliner, and then I grabbed this Fenty Beauty Lip Stain. It's called Poutsicle, and this is like the dark pink shade, and I got the orangey shade. I am really liking these. I've been kind of enjoying the Kool-Aid mouth lip look, especially if I've got a bold eye look going. It looks a little more toned down, but still kind of fun. So that is that on that. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up. It helps me out, costs you nothing, and I super appreciate it. All right, be good, and remember to be kind to you.